What's up, mi gente? Welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to do a quick video on my competition rifle setup or tactical games rifle setup as well. Before we get into that, I just want to say continue to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification so you get notified of videos, and share with a friend so we could grow the channel. Enough about that. Let's talk rifle. So I just kind of wanted to go, run down through the build of my, competition rifle. This is the rifle I use for 2-gun, 3-gun, and specifically for tactical games. So let's get into it. Just kind of going to go from tip to butt and kind of talk about the products that I chose and why. So starting off with the muzzle device, as you see here, this is not a can. Might look like a can, but it's not. It's a blast shield. The reason I run one is the tactical games specifically have a rule. If you're running a muzzle brake, which I have to because I can't run a flash hider in my state, you have to have a muzzle brake pin and welded. Well, the muzzle brake obviously has concussion left and right, and if you have a competitor, you could disrupt their shooting, etc. So they make you run a blast shield where everything's coming out the front. So that led me to look for a blast shield, and I found the Huxworks Blasphemy, which is a nice blast shield. Was well priced compared to like the Surefire or Warden, I believe it is, or whatever the Surefire blast shield is. And you could run their muzzle brakes on a QD system. So this just screws, you see here, just screws off and has a QD system. This is the Huxworks 556 QD muzzle brake. So now I run them basically on all my rifles. So one, I could interchange the blast shield if I want to, and also I was kind of thinking ahead. I have the QD system for the Huxworks. If I ever move to a state that has a can, which I will be, I could run the Huxworks can with this. So that's why I chose this muzzle brake, not for any performance gain or anything like that. It's a muzzle brake. I feel like muzzle brakes are muzzle brakes, so nothing super sexy there. So the Huxworks 556 QD muzzle brake with the Blasphemy blast shield for anybody who's specifically looking to do tactical games. Great blast shield, does its job, and is well priced. So that's why I have that on there. Going on to the upper, which is still the same it was. I haven't changed anything there. This is a SIG M400 upper because it's a SIG M400 rifle. It was one of the first ARs that I bought and I've kept. It's a great rifle, does its job, shoots great. I just kind of upgraded parts and we'll talk about them as we go. But it's a SIG M400, nothing Gucci, nothing super fancy. I say that because a lot of these competitions, I see guys like Cobalt Kinetics, great, $3,000-$4,000 rifles. Anyway, it's a SIG M400 upper. The one thing I did change is this stock came with a 13-inch hand guard. I went to the 15-inch. I upgraded just to get more rail space, be able to get my my vertical grip or the kind of stoppy a little room for that, a little more forward. At the 13-inch I was right at the end, so I upgraded that. The reason why I stuck with the and I'll talk about it now, the SIG M400 hand guard and didn't upgrade is I like that it's super thin and super slick, thin, very slim. I like that because it helps going through barricades. You shoot a lot of barricades, and when you have a big hand guard, big vertical grip, it can hold you up. So I like this guy because it's super thin. So M400 barrel, all stock that came with the M400. I did upgrade the hand guard there. Moving to the BCG, this is the Toolcraft PVD FD coated BCG. I had it, so I'm running it. I do keep the stock M400 BCG with me as a backup. Nothing was wrong with it, shot fine. I have a lot of rounds through it. But again, I like, if you can see there, it's PVD coated, so it runs nice, lubricates good. So that's the Toolcraft BCG. Moving toward the back is the Radian Raptor charging handle. Love that charging handle. Pretty much run it on all my rifles, especially with an LPVO. Lets you really grab on and charge it. Fully ambidextrous there. Is that it on the upper? Just because we're talking about the upper, this is the True North Concepts like stoppy. Very small, short. I like it. Because like I said, it doesn't get in the way. Fits around my hand good, so I could kind of wrap it around or kind of put my pinky around it if I want to, and I could use it as a stop on barricades, which I like. These are just Magpul rail guards, kind of just for heat, and just, you know, just helps me put my hand there every time and just get a nice, you know, grip, because it's very, it has like an aggressive like stipple on there. That's it for the upper. Let's get into optics. This is the Viper, Vortex Viper PST Gen 2, 1x24. I'm sorry, 1x6x24. I like it. By no means is it high-end, you know, glass. I would say this is kind of like a mid-tier. Before this, I ran the Tango MSR, the SIG, because there was a deal. If you bought the M400, you got like the LPVO and mount for like under $300. So I ran with that for a while. And then I upgraded. I like Vortex optics. I feel like the, you know, the glass is very, you know, clean and clear. I love their warranty. Just a quick story. I had a hunting rifle, dropped, you know, it was my fault. I fell into rocks, mashed up the scope. They just sent me a new one. So I love their warranty for that. So Vortex, like I said, PST Gen 2, 1x6x24. You know, it's a well-priced scope. You could find them for under $600, $500, and they're really clear, good scope. I like it. Again, it's not a Night Force. It's not like top tier stuff. You know, a Razor, all that. I see a lot of guys out there. I just don't have, you know, $3,000, $2,500 to drop on a scope. But that's the LPVO running. LPVOs are very popular, specifically, especially tactical games. You're shooting out long range. Could you do it with a red dot 100% and a magnifier? But an LPVO really comes into play. And some guys are even using like, you know, like a 3x18 even, you know, so guys are going up their magnification and using bigger scopes as well. But I like the 1x6. I think it's great. I don't find a need, at least right now, for like a 1:8 or 1x10. I think this 1x6 is really good. I paired it with a offset red dot, which I like. This is the Holosun EPS. It's a 2 MOA dot, just red dot. I like it, especially for in, you know, 50 meters or in targets. I could get on them. And 2, also when I'm, you know, shooting targets down range, I can ID them and then move into my LPVO. It just helps out than searching with them with the scope. The mount is a little Gucci, but I got it on an awesome deal. This is the Unity Tactical mount. I like that it just raises it up, you know, a bit. Took a little bit to getting used to, but I really love it. And they give you the option to run your red dot offset or at 12 o'clock. I do have the ring to run at 12 o'clock, and I kind of went back and forth. So guys, let me know if you guys use an offset red dot. Do you like it 45 degree like this, or do you run it on the 12 o'clock? What's cool about this mount is it gives you both options. The offset kind of runs to the base, and they give you a ring with your attachment, which clears the turrets and all that. So to run it at 12 o'clock. I've just been running it offset and like it, but curious for anybody who runs this in the comments. Do you prefer 12 or on the offset there? Let me know. But the Unity Tactical mount, like I said, it is expensive mount. This mounts are like $300 to $400. I traded somebody a Ronin belt for it, so I got an awesome deal. If not, I wouldn't probably spend the money on the mount. I feel like there's other mounts on the market which are really good, which are maybe $200, you know, like the Reptila, etc. But Unity Tactical makes awesome stuff, so really nice mount there. FDE color. What else? On the scope, I run the 100 Concepts caps, just like them. Just a nice cap system to run. They give you that ARD with the Pro. What's cool about that is you could also run it like a cap and like take it out of the way if you don't want to use it. If you just want to have no obstruction, you know, no view, you know, obstruction through your view. You do see a little bit of that ARD when you're looking through it, but that's cool there. I like that about them. And I did add the short lever throw for the Vortex short lever throw for the scope. I like it, especially when you're, you know, in competition, kind of, you know, ranging in and out. It just makes it easy to range your targets in and out. What else? Anything on the optics that I'm missing? No, the 2 MOA dots, just a 2 MOA red dot on the EPS there. I went for a closed emitter over open, especially, you know, your rifles on the ground a lot. you know, getting into mud, shooting in all kinds of conditions. So I just didn't want any obstruction with the rain or mud getting in there. So I went for a closed emitter on this guy. So that's why I went with the Holosun EPS. Anything I'm missing on the upper? That's pretty much it. Like I said, the lower, again, it's a SIG M400, so the lower is stock. I like it because it came stock with ambi controls, so you have, you know, ambi safety selector, ambi mag release, etc. I did add if you guys can see it here, a bigger mag release. I don't know the name of the company, but I like it. It's a nice big kind of knurled pad there, so just easy to you know, release your mag, especially when you're running and gunning. I got that in one of those tack boxes, you know, those tactical boxes you get monthly. Came in there, I threw it on. Yeah, I like it. Just forget what brand it is. What else on the lower? I'm running the HRF Concepts Magwell. Something newer. I've had this for a few months. I like it. It just helps with, you know, reinserting mags, especially if you're going a little bit off angle, etc. You know, it just gives you a bigger base there. So liking that. That was a nice little upgrade. The trigger is upgraded. I went with the Geisley SD3G, their Super 3 gun dynamic trigger. I like it. It's a hybrid, meaning it's not a single stage and it's not a dual stage. It's a hybrid, a little in between. It has a flat trigger shoe, very flat. I like it. Some guys don't like this for long range and accuracy shots. I don't mind it. I have no issue with it, and I like it for repeated shots. It works really well. Resets really nice. So I love Geisley triggers. So that's the SD3G trigger in there. That was an upgrade I made to the lower. So the mil-spec trigger did fine. I like to say this in videos because I feel like guys, you know, need to like imitate these rifles, and I'm letting you know you don't. If you have a M400, you could run it as it is. I ran the mil-spec trigger for a very long time, and these guns will outshoot me, and it'll outshoot me every day of the week. So with mil-spec, so you know, the trigger is a great upgrade, but you don't have to have it. You know, you don't have to have all these you know, goodies to compete. And I like to say that because I feel like guys get intimidated, like they see these rifle setups, and I see them because I'm out there and I see guys with, like I told you, Cobalt Kinetics, Geisleys with the Night Forces. I mean, you know, you're talking about at the end of the day a $6,000 rifle setup. You know, I'm just not, I can't do it, but God bless you if you can. Not saying don't, but you don't have to, is what I wanted to get at. So that's the lower. Moving, just keep moving back. Kung Fu grip from Die Free Company. I like these grips. I run them on my ARs now. I like the aggressive stipple and the angle. It's very, you know, low angle, so it brings your wrist nice, very nice for shooting from the prone. And I do like it has this cutout here for your hand, so it just fits comfortably. So Die Free Kung Fu grip, it's called. Moving back is the Magpul CTR stock. Butt stock, I like it. Simple, has that dual lock, so it takes a lot of the wobble and wiggle away. I believe it came stock with a B5 maybe, but I like the Magpul CTRs. I run these. I like these. I do have a cheek riser on it by GBRS. They make 3 levels, like a 25, 50, 75. This is the 25. It works really well with this Unity. Just gives me a nice cheekbone, and I can get it on there. So I like it. It's again, it's a GBRS cheek riser. I don't think GBRS makes them. I think another company makes them, but you can find them on their website. Spring and buffer. I'm using a Springco Blue with an H2 buffer. It's been running great. That's something that you have to kind of tune for yourself. I am looking to upgrade that in the future, just because I do feel like I could get recoil out of this and kind of run it smoother. That's something that, hit me up in the comments. I don't have much you know, experience with those like kind of Gucci buffer systems like the JP, or there's other ones out there. Let me know, guys. Let me know what you think is the best setup for this type of rifle. This is a 16-inch, by the way. I didn't start off 16-inch M400. So let me know what you think there. But I have a Springco Blue H2 buffer for those that would ask. What else we got? And that's basically it. The sling that you see on here is a GBRS second best sling. I like it. Nice, you know, thin pad. I like that when you order them, you get like the QDs, everything you need. I do run this guy right here, which is the Tri-Glide QD. It just allows you to unclip and clip into a 1 point. So that allows the sling to become a 1 point and a 2 point for all those that are wondering. So just because I know that sounds a little, so I'll just get the sling on here. So what I like about that is that this tri-glide here has a QD built into it. So if you want to come out of your rifle and go into that QD, you can. So what you do is you just clip into your QD here, and now it's a 1 point, right? So I like a 1 point, especially for transitioning to offhand. So I like it, but I do, especially running around, I like going back to a 2 point. So you just unclick out of that QD here. Oh, sorry, my hands are not functioning today. But, oh geez. So you just take off the QD and go back to the QD on your rifle. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to hold it and take it up. My hands are just cramping today. Again, so you just put it into your QD and you're back to a 2 point sling. So I like that about it. That's something that isn't, you know, the GBR sling. You could get that from a lot of companies make it. Faro Concepts make it. You could get it on GBRS's site. I forget the company that actually makes these, but it's just a tri-glide with a QD setup that goes in there. So you go and have a 1 point and 2 point, and I just think that's awesome. So sling, which is a must. QDs. Anything else that I'm missing? I don't think so. I don't know if I talked about the reticle. It's an MOA reticle in there, nothing fancy, and that's it, guys. It runs well, shoots well. Like I said, guys, you don't have to be you know, super Gucci to get into it. And I did upgrades little by little when I found deals or traded guys for things. But if you're asking me what's a great upgrade, trigger's I think one of the best upgrades to do, especially if you're shooting competition. Get a good trigger, really helps out with accuracy and whatnot. And I think that's a great upgrade to kind of, if you're going to upgrade something and you're kind of on a budget, you know, going to the trigger would be a good way to go. So that's it, guys. That's my kind of competition build. Some guys build this out like an SPR with LPVO. If that was the case, I would have a light on there, you know, for sure. All that stuff would just get in my way. I have it specifically just built for competition and tactical games, and like I said, I keep it very slick for barricades. But if I was going to use this rifle in a combat scenario, I'd definitely put a light on there. And this is a good SPR type of build, maybe a bipod on there. I'll do a specific video on my SPR, which is I have a rifle dedicated to that. But that's it, guys. Just wanted to show you what I use for competition. Let me know what you guys use. I'm curious. For anybody out there doing the tactical games, let me know what your setup is. And that's it, guys. I will see you on the next one. Dale.